I, 26, am suddenly catching my husband, 28, in small, inconsequential lies. It's making me into a paranoid person. What do I do? Hi, my 26 husband, 28, and I have been married for about 6 months and were together for about a year and a half before. We had no formal engagement and just had a courthouse marriage. Outside of work, we spend most of our time together. We have a happy relationship, and each of us have done a lot of work to better ourselves in the time we've known one another as independent people and as part. The problem is in the past month or so I keep catching my husband in small, petty lie. I have not been trying to catch him lying. It just keeps happening. The first instance that I know of is when the dog peed on the floor, and he cleaned it up and told me the wet spot on the rug was from him spilling his water. I didn't question it. Why would I think? I am not even really upset about this particular lie because he was definitely trying to keep the peace. I am not a dog person. He is. The dog and I are friendly housemates, but we're not one another's favourite creature. What makes me upset about this lie is that I found pea-soaked rags a few hours later and, puzzled, asked point blank if he had lied about the dog peeing. He said no, why? And I said there are just a bunch of pea-soaked rags in the trash dog. I forgot about those. Yeah, she did. Sorry. The doubling down on a lie bothers me a lot, but I let it go. However, since then there have been multiple little things. He's asked me to remind him to put money aside for bills. I ask him, and he lies that he's done it. He corrects himself before I can say anything and says, well, no, that is a lie. Not yet, but I will. He has asked me to help him stop smoking, and I try to help him. I note that he's smoked an entire pack in a day, and he says no. I didn't when I was with him when he bought the pack. I have to remind him that I know because of the empty pack of cigarettes that is not true, and he concedes. This morning he said he was going to use a nicotine patch and make an effort to stop smoking again, and he didn't. All of the patches are still there in their individual wrappers. There are some other very small things that are slipping my mind, but I've noticed that this is starting to become an issue, and it never was before. I feel as though I understand why he's lying. I feel that he has subconsciously assigned an authoritative role to me. It's similar to how children lie to their parents to keep them off their back. I don't want to be in this role. I check in about these things because I've been asked to in order to help him. I ask him to help remind me of things too, and I don't begrudge him those reminders. So I'm seeking advice for two things. The first is, how do I make my husband feel as though I'm his equal and his partner, and avoid triggering a defensive dishonesty while respecting his wishes of helping him remember things. And the second is a little more dark. Because of the little lies, I've begun to feel a little bit of confusion, unease, and paranoia toward him. For instance, I shouldn't think to check the box of nicotine patches to see if he lied to me. That's paranoid, and I know it, but I can't stop thinking that if he's unbothered by peppering little fibs throughout the day, he will build up to more consequential lies. I do not want to distrust my husband, and I never have before. But this is causing me to take him at his word a little bit less. He's never cheated on me, nor I him, and that has never been a suspicion. So that isn't an underlying pressure point. I don't think that confronting him about his lying is the way to keep it at bay. Quite the opposite. Perhaps fixing the above issue of his view of my role in the relationship will fix the lying altogether. But in the meantime, how do I keep from feeling leery of my partner lying to me? Too long, don't read. My husband lies about little things, mainly things he has asked me to remind him to do. I think it's because I wear the pants in his view and he wants me off his back. How do I restore my role as an equal? And how do I nip my feelings of distrust in the bud? Thanks in advance. Update, sorry, I don't post much on Reddit and don't know how to add update to the title of the post. I will if someone can help. I didn't think this post would get quite as much traction. I have read everyone's responses here and chose to take the following approach. While it's a harmful habit, I agree with many of you that it does not feel malicious or even intentional. So I very much did not want him to feel bad or as if I was stewing and attacking him. So I chose not to directly mention the lies at all. When he got home from work today, I said, hey, I just want to talk to you because I feel I owe you an apology. I think that sometimes when I try to remind you or hold you to things, it comes across to you as punitive or judgmental. I don't mean to ever be anything but supportive, but I've done a bad job of it. I know that quitting smoking is difficult, and I'm proud of you for trying and for making plans to be healthy. I am here to support you while you try, whatever pace that may take. I also want to say that I think that my reminding you of such things has caused a dynamic where you think you are in danger of getting in trouble with me. Sometimes the way you respond reminds me of how I might stave off a parent. I am sorry for making you feel like that, and for that reason I am going to stop reminding you of cause or goals. I am your partner and your I have emotions, but you can't get in trouble with me. So if you're feeling that way, please let me know. I love you. To which he responded a way he usually does when he says he's not used to feeling respected. He fidgeted and quietly said it's okay. You can still bring it up ... But then a moment later more directly said, I really appreciate that you think about my feelings. Thank you. And we hugged and kissed and went about our day. I will make a conscious effort to loosen up and to not play into the carriage of a / reminder role, and we will see if things improve with respect to the lying issue. If it doesn't get better, I will of course have to address it more directly. By the way, I didn't mention the money again, but he went to the bank today on his way home and stashed it away like he'd saved. So that is also encouraging. I'm going to start with the second question first. I do not want to distrust my husband, and I never have before. But this is causing me. It's important that you have a higher-level conversation with your husband about this, not about the specific lies, but the overall effect they have on the relationship. Trust is so important in a relationship, and I need to be able to trust the things you tell me. These little lies are not major issues on their own, but the fact that there's now a pattern means that it actually is a major issue. I can't be in a relationship where I have paranoia, where I feel like I have to check the things you say to me. I really need you to hear me when I say that these little lies are causing serious damage to my trust in you and our relationship. In order to fix this, I need you to understand that it can't keep happening. So, at least for the time being, I can't put myself in a position where I think you're lying to me. I can't help you stop smoking under these circumstances. I want to be able to help you, but I can't do that while I'm constantly questioning the things you say. There needs to be a general moratorium on the types of situations where lies, as far as possible, while you work on it. Which leads me to your first question. How do I make my husband feel as though I am his equal and his partner, and avoid triggering a defensive dishonesty while respecting his wishes of helping him remember things? In order to make your husband feel equal in this, I think it is necessary that he comes up with the answer to this question. If you do the legwork of thinking of solutions, proposing solutions, and helping him choose a solution, aren't you still the authority? You're doing his work for him. So I think it's really important that he take agency for fixing his own issue with lying. I'm surprised no one mentioned his lying may be malicious. Per se, people who had verbally or emotionally abusive parents learn to lie reflexively to protect themselves. It's obviously incredibly unhealthy, and it can be unlearned with time, therapy, and trust. That does not excuse his behavior. Exactly. But it may provide insight into his motivation. In other words, he's not trying to be deceitful, a bad partner, or otherwise want to sabotage your relationship. It could be a learned response to direct questioning picked up in childhood, a type of stress response. You don't mention anything about his upbringing. So this could be a red herring, but it's worth mentioning to help you frame the behavior as a part of the process of helping him unlearn it. And by helping him, I do mean get him therapy and be a solid, non-parental partner. My boyfriend started doing this to me near the beginning of our relationship. He was lying to me about going to class because he had dropped his class, but he didn't tell me because he didn't want to confront what he did. And in his head, he thought I'd been mad. Eventually he told me, but it was pretty upsetting. I noticed him treating me like a mum in other ways, and he still does sometimes. I basically just tell him straight up, you're treating me like your mum again instead of your partner. I can help you with things if you want, but I'm going to scold you or put you in time out. You need to be honest with me and trust me with your problems instead of hiding them.